So the UFC is returning to Jacksonville for UFC 273. Last time they were in Jacksonville, it was an absolutely stacked card. We saw Usman knock out Jorge Masvidal. Rose Namajunas won the belt in spectacular fashion over Zhang Wei Li. And Shevchenko put on a pretty dominant performance against Jessica Andrade. This week we've also got two title fights. You've got Korean Zombie trying to take the title from Alex Volkanovski in the main event. And then we've got Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev. And then we've got the rematch between Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. Before that, on the main card, we've got Mark Madsen and Vic Pin-chel. Don't really know much about Pichel, but I did see he was on a 3-fight win streak. But personally, I think that Madsen, he's a gold medalist in freestyle wrestling. I think he's going to be too much. And I think he's going to take a decision. Then we've also got Mackenzie Dern and Tecia Torres. That'll be the second bout on the main card. I think that Mackenzie Dern is going to catch Tecia Torres and submit her. I think it's going to be the first time that Tecia Torres is finished. And then they're calling it the People's Main Event, and they could be right. You've got Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev. And I think this is the fight where we're really going to see just how good Khamzat Chimaev is. We've seen what he's done to his opponents so far. I think he hasn't really taken a significant strike yet. He dominated Jack Hermanson in a submission grappling thing that was on UFC Fight Pass. He allegedly was dominating Sean Strickland in training, which Sean Strickland said himself. So it'll be interesting to see how he does against competition like Gilbert Burns, who's an elite jiu-jitsu player. I think he's won a whole bunch of jiu-jitsu titles. And he's got knockout power in his hands, which we've seen. He knocked out Damian Maia, and he knocked down the champion Kamaru Usman. So I think this is the test for Khamzat Chimaev. The betting odds are ridiculously in favor of Chimaev. I think I saw on Sportsbet that Gilbert Burns was $4.60 and Chimaev was $1.16. For me, it's a pick 'em fight. I think it goes either way. I think if it's standing up, I think Gilbert Burns has really got a chance. But, because he's got knockout power in his hands, he's shown that he's got really good striking. And outside of the knockout of Gerald Meerschaert, I haven't really seen too much of Khamzat's striking. So, it will be interesting to see what happens in that fight. I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns. He's just too hard to bet against for me. I think he's the toughest fight for a lot of people in that division. But I think it's going to be a great fight. Then we've got Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. And I think Yan's going to dominate his way and finish him in the second round. It's not going to get out of the second round for me. I wouldn't be surprised if it finished in the first. We've seen that Yan, he pretty much just takes over fights as soon as the fight carries on. He's already seen Aljamain Sterling. He already dominated him. And I think he's going to do the same again. And then in the main event, Alexander Volkanovski, I think, is going to tear through Chan Sung Jung. I think he's way too technical. I think he's one of the top 3 pound-for-pound people on the planet, and I think he's going to regain his belt. And then we're going to see him fight Max Holloway for a third time. But those are just my thoughts. There's some really good fights on the prelims. You got Aspen Ladd and Ricky Pennington fighting. That's going to be a cool one. Anthony Hernandez is fighting as well, so that'll be fun. Mickey Gall. And then Ian Gary's making his return to the octagon. So, definitely tune into the prelims as well. But those are just my thoughts on UFC 273. And I will have my reaction to it up on Monday morning.